Hey crew, I've got the key to that 2023 Chevy Corvette Z06. We are gonna take it for a drive, but first, let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside. Up front, the Z06 is distinguished by a re-sculpted lower bumper with more ducts and better cooling. You still have those LED headlights and DRLs. This one has the optional Z07 Aero package with those extended canards and carbon fiber front splitter. In profile, the Z06 gets forged alloy wheels, sized 20-inch front and 21-inch rear, wrapped up in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S ZP tires, 275 section front and 345s at the rear. Within those wheels, we see the upgraded Brembo 6-piston brakes up front, clamping on carbon ceramic rotors. The optional carbon fiber side sill is here. The side inlets have been extracted quite a ways. The new Z06 is 3.6 inches wider than the standard C8. Stepping back to look at the profile, it's really just those wheels and that small Z06 badge to distinguish it from the standard C8, unless you go with the Aero pack, because that adds this huge carbon fiber rear wing that's high in the sides and low in the center. Low in the center for visibility out the back, high in the sides where there's that clean air to be sculpted. LED taillights are like the C8, functional ventilation here in the bumper. There is a re-sculpted lower bumper with that's a real rock in the real pass-through. Jutting diffuser and 4 center exit exhaust ports. Those look way cooler than the C8. As a package, the Z06 is only mildly distinct from the C8. If you get the Aero pack, it's got more menace for sure. Let's check out that interior. Before we open up, you can see I've transitioned from our Amplify orange example to this silver one with a very bright blue interior. It's 2 tones of blue. You have these beautiful leather seats with this brighter blue amidst a navy color, perforations on the seat, carbon fiber for the buckets, heating and ventilation is standard. On the doors, lovely stitched leather here as an option, along with all of this additional carbon fiber. You get a Bose 10-speaker sound system as standard. You can upgrade to a 14-speaker unit. Storage inside the C8 is pretty darn good. You've got a front trunk, and then you've got a very large rear trunk where you can store the roof panel, as we see is clearly missing from this one. Sliding in, door close noise, a good thud there. In front of the driver, we have this carbon fiber squared off wheels. So the carbon fiber is an option as an upgrade along with the carbon fiber for the paddles, but the shape and the leather wrapping here at 9 3, along with the size and design of the paddles is standard. Carbon fiber around the digital gauge cluster, also standard. Head-up display, stitched leather up on the dashboard as an option with additional blue contrast. 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system. I love this unit from GM. It's quick responding, has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Tons of carbon fiber on the console here. You can see the skies have opened up and rain is coming down. And this extra bit of carbon fiber is an additional extra. The spine of HVAC controls and seat heating and ventilation settings are there. Your drive mode selections here. Your drive selections are there. Visibility with the top down is amazing. With the top up, a little more restricted. Wireless smartphone charging is right there. Just a bit of storage here in the console. I love this color combination, and this cabin does feel sufficiently upscale for the 6-figure price tag. I can't really show you the headroom, again, with the roof removed, but we'll find out very soon when I've got a helmet on if it fits me on the track. I'm excited. Let's take the C8 Z06 for a drive. All right, let's fire it up. Oh, I like that. And we are joined by Peter, fellow automotive journalist.
How you doing?
Hey, Peter. On our road drive here in the Z06. We will be taking this car to the track, so our road drive portion is going to be at modest speeds. For our drive modes, crank the dial, And we'll start things off in the tour mode. So we can see that's everything in the lightest configuration. And then to go to reverse, we just pull up on this tab, and that brings up a high resolution backup camera with a lot of different angles to choose from, including a wide angle one. Digital rear view mirror is going, and so are we. Pull up to drive. Let's do a turning radius test to kick things off here. Are we going to clear it? Just barely clear the lip there. And turn signal sound. A light knocking on the door. So yeah, even with those wide tires up front, we were able to do a reasonable turning radius. The powertrain in this C8 Z06 is incredible. Not shared with any other GM vehicles. It's a 5.5 liter naturally aspirated V8. It is not a cross-plane V8, it is a flat plane crank. That's exciting because the power here would not be possible with a cross-plane V8. If you wanted a naturally aspirated engine with this kind of power, couldn't really do it. The flat plane crank, what that does is lower the inertia in the crankshaft, and with the double overhead cam setup, we've got things spinning faster in that crankshaft, faster moving, higher revving, which means more air is entering that engine, igniting, creating more power. And so with 5.5 liters of displacement, we have 670 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. That is channeled through an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox to just the rear tires. There is a trade-off with going with a flat plane crank V8. The trade-off is that with higher displacement flat plane V8s, you have more vibration, which usually leads to more wear and tear on the engine. But Chevy has counteracted that by lowering the piston speeds and with titanium connecting rods. So this engine, they're saying, will be durable despite the added vibration. And at modest speeds, it's just a sweetheart. The drone from the exhaust is minimal, and they did adjust the exhaust sound. They retuned the exhaust system. And the baffles aren't just open or closed, they actually vary so that the sound changes based on drive mode and based on throttle positioning. In this softest suspension setting, the magnetic ride control adaptive dampers are phenomenal. For the performance threshold of this car, the ride quality is so good. These are not great roads here. We're jostling all about, and so there's movement, but the impacts are not harsh. I'll go into sport now. Stiffening things up in the suspension, adjusting the steering feedback, or rather the resistance. You can hear that engine note a little more. Throttle response is a bit peppier. Still in the lower part of the rev range. There's not a ton of that torque. Peak torque comes in at 6,300 RPM. Oh yeah. Getting to rev out a Corvette to 8,600 RPM is beautiful. apologize, cows. I don't mean to scare you. And that sound, the exotic soundtrack of a flat plane V8 here in an American muscle car. You see it on the outside, you know it's a Corvette, but then you hear it, and if your eyes were shut, you just wouldn't believe it. It's not just that it revs high as well, it revs quickly. It gets to that 8,600 RPM peak so rapidly. I'm also going to hit the Z button, which has some customizable settings here. You can see the suspension is firmer, engine sound is loudest, and let's play. Oh, I love this sound. And I know I mentioned that Chevy has attempted to combat the vibration as much as possible so the engine wears well, but that doesn't mean that you don't feel the vibration through the chassis as if this were a race car. And that is the craziest thing. The blending of street and race car technology here in a Corvette that, yes, is the most expensive Corvette yet. But you kind of know what you're paying for now. Everything about how the Z06 drives on the road feels so buttoned up. Even here in the stiffest suspension setting, the road has smoothed out a little bit, but the car stays so compliant. I'm itching to drive it faster. We need to take this thing to the track. Let's go do that, then we'll pop back here to wrap things up. And finally, we're able to open the taps a bit. Importantly, the car I'm in has the Z07 package. It has the stiffer suspension. It has the aero. This one also has the carbon fiber wheels, so we're reducing unsprung weight by 40-ish pounds. We have the carbon ceramic brakes, which are just sensational. Delivery is linear right after 4,000 RPM. It just comes on so smooth. The turn in, not only immediate, also has beautiful buildup in the steering. So you have a great sense of the phenomenal grip from these Michelin Pilot Cup 2R tires. I'm not getting anywhere close to what this car can do right now. The Performance Traction Management System is in sport right now. So it allows some play, but keeps you from the worst. can't get over how eager the chassis is. It just wants to dive right in. The velocity of this car on a straight, in a corner, is mesmerizing. This Z07 package is worth every penny. The vibration of this flat plane crank V8. My voice is cracking. Through this chassis genuinely makes me feel like I'm driving a race car. I've left the transmission in auto, and it knows precisely what it's doing. Oh, I'm getting in a groove now, folks. What has Chevy done? What monster have they created? Why don't I also have an order in for one of these? It's just so easy to feed in the power. Okay. That was insane. Let's I guess go back to the on-road drive to wrap this one up. A Z06 on track makes for a very, very good day. Now back on the road, I want to frame this car. And though I won't reach a verdict on it, this is just a first drive, I will share what I feel like Chevy has accomplished with this vehicle. So the starting price, $109,000. Before you add the Z07 package or the carbon fiber wheels or the specific wing, or any of those things that you may want to add, it's $109,000. That's a lot for a Corvette. But when you look at what this car is now competing against, I mean, truly, properly, for the first time ever, genuinely competing toe-to-toe with true supercars, like the Audi R8, which in cheapest form, the rear drive performance, is $150,000. Then we've got cars like the 911 GT3, stepping it up to $162,000, or the McLaren 720S at $285,000. The power of this car at 670 is second most to that McLaren 720S, and the 0 to 60 is among, if not the quickest of those cars. The design may not be quite as exotic as something like a 720S. Yes, a 720S is going to kind of stop traffic. This, however, everyone driving is still going to crane their necks to get a good look. And the way it drives on the road as a complement to the incredible threshold of it on track, they've done something incredible here. And I cannot wait for a bit more time behind the wheel to get you guys a 0 to 60 time and some other fun tests. Oh, you know what? I can throw in here real quick because I've got no one around. The world famous horn test. Here it goes. I like that horn. It's a good sound. I hope you guys have enjoyed this POV first drive. If you did, please like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to get notified. And I will see you again next time.